All right, well, we're back. Let's just call it our summer vacation. All right, a month that we take off from regularly uploading. So, yeah, episode 13, lucky number 13. Some of our topics today are Nick Kingham, Jordan Lyles, Josh Bell, the NL Central, hot streak as a team, and then hot streaks from Kevin Newman, Brian Reynolds, and Adam Frazier. And also, at the end, we're going to go over our top lineup, so how we stack up our lineup. So,
Josh Bell cleanup.
Yep, Josh Bell cleanup. I think that's a no-brainer right now, but yeah, so let's go ahead and start with Josh Bell. So the guy has been on a tear. He's an all-star along with Felipe Vasquez, and he holds the extra base hit record for NL hitters before the All-Star break.
60 of them.
Yes.
So if you think about this for a second, the Pirates are at 89 games played. So it's a touch over. It's 8 games beyond the halfway mark of the season. The All-Star break is like the unofficial halfway mark. It's usually beyond the halfway mark, but in this case, it's pretty close to the halfway mark with just 8 games off. So if you think about it for a second, if a hitter has 60 hits in the first half of a season, okay, say they're like almost a full-time hitter. They haven't gotten 300 at-bats. 60 out of 300 isn't good, but say 60 out of 200, that's really good.
Yeah.
So if a hitter has 60 hits in the first half, they're having a decent season.
60 extra base hits.
This man is squaring everything up. He's hit singles at 110 miles per hour, but most of the time when he hits them like that, they find the line, they find a gap, they just scoot by people, and 27 of them have carried over the fence.
They found the river too.
A few of those missiles looked like they had no chance, but they just left a vapor trail as they cleared a fence somewhere. So
you know what I think? If Josh Bell participated in a doubles derby, he would win it. He's
just a pure hitter.
Yeah, this guy, he's getting on base, and when he does get on base, those balls are extra base hits, which is great to see in the cleanup spot when you have guys like Kevin Newman, when you have guys like Adam Frazier and Brian Reynolds getting on base for you. This guy drives them in at a high rate.
And Starling Marte.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starling Marte showing some power. It helps that Marte's batting in front of Josh Bell, but yeah, Josh Bell has just been phenomenal. There's no other word for it, just phenomenal. Phenomenal first half from the Pirates cleanup hitter and first baseman. He's pretty much carried the team at this point, and their offense is really good right now, and Josh Bell's like leading the way. There's a lot of other guys that are contributing, but they're 19 and 24 in their last 43 games, but they've scored almost 6 runs per game during that stretch.
I mean, since the Atlanta series, when we lost 7 straight, it's been great to watch so far.
The pitching just got a little bit better.
Yeah, the pitching's getting better slowly. Chris Archer is figuring out.
Up and down.
Yeah, up and down. And right now he's riding an up streak, I think. But, I mean, guys are stepping up, especially in the lineup. If you told me that Kevin Newman would be a .330 hitter right now at this point in the year with how many at-bats he's gotten, I would have called you crazy. But this guy is
to
also
start
getting
the season,
on. Yeah, for sure. I mean, last year, everybody was talking about moving on from him. We were talking about moving on from him. You know?
Yeah, he didn't look good in September, but at Pirates Fest we kind of got a
glimpse at
Eric
Gonzalez.
At what the organization, what Neil Huntington thought of Kevin Newman. He kind of tempered the expectations. He said, "We see Kevin Newman as a young Jordy Mercer." He was trying to be complimentary to Jordy Mercer with that, but I ran a Twitter poll recently. Who's going to have a better Pirates career when it's all said and done? Jordy Mercer or Kevin Newman? And Mercer never came close to a half of baseball what Newman's doing right now. So, I don't know.
I think that Neil's comment about him being the next Jordy Mercer is basically holding down that shortstop position for years to come, more than just capping out at his stats. But yeah, Newman's doing great, and we can talk about them later in the show. But Jordan Lyles is a guy who's been surprising for us this year. Coming out of spring training, even at spring training, me, DiNardo, and Josh have all been saying Nick Kingham should be the 5th starter. He's had a better spring, and continuously, Clint Hurdle and the management team has said Jordan Lyles has the inside track. And I'm not even going to say...
That's going back to spring training now.
That's going back to spring training.
Who's Nick Kingham, though? I don't remember that guy.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Some guy who the first pitch that he threw as a Blue Jay went over the fence, Josh Reddick. But, Kingham's having a really bad year, and I'll say it. He's having a horrible year. But this guy's been through a lot of struggles with the organization. I mean, having trouble coming back from Tommy John, making his debut at 26. He was a highly regarded prospect, just not working out. But we'll talk about him next.
He's somewhere else now.
Yeah.
We can pretty much wrap him up.
Oh,
at
yeah.
this point. He's somewhere else now.
He's in Toronto.
I really love the promise that he showed as a prospect, being a guy who was calm, cool, and collected on the mound. He seemed to be in command of his pitches, but it never really materialized beyond, like if you think about it, beyond his great debut.
Yeah, basically.
It was all downhill from there, just steadily, slowly, but surely to where he's at right now.
Well, we mentioned on a phone call, when Chris Archer came over here, is when he started going completely downhill. Because it almost looked like they were kind of giving up on him a bit.
Yeah.
There was still that 5th starter spot that could be filled out, but...
Nova was holding it down at that point.
Yeah, at that point it was Nova. And Nova actually helped us out the other day. How about that?
Yeah.
He beat the Cubs.
Kingham at that point was putting up serviceable numbers, and he was in his rookie season. Granted, he was 26 years old, but at that point to kind of like remove him from the rotation, send him back to AAA, whatever it was like a disappointment where he no longer, and that's on him.
Yeah.
He no longer felt like he could give this organization his all. But just to go back to Jordan Lyles for a second. Lyles came out, and he was working the high fastball, curveball combination, which is a combination that the Pirates love, but we haven't seen much of the cutter, change-up, slider combination from Lyles recently. Okay? And he is just getting pounded. Now, he looks like a guy who could be very useful if he was pushed back into that bullpen role. And what we've seen from Dario Agrizal, my guy, coming through big for me. One of my favorite under the radar pitching prospects. Actually looking like he belongs in the big leagues by just battling for outs.
You know what? Let's talk about him later on.
Yeah. With the emergence of him, Lyles kind of gets pushed to the bullpen. And, hey, Mitch Keller.
Mitch Keller, guys, don't freak out about Mitch Keller not doing good at the big leagues right now.
Yeah.
Because this guy's a top prospect, and he will be good.
It's basically he has to decrease the fastball usage, trust the off-speed stuff, throw off-speed for strikes just to show hitters a different look. Because it doesn't matter if you throw 97 consistently in the big leagues. You show big league hitters 97 again and again and again, and they catch up to it. So Keller seems to be gaining the feel. It's been like a slow development process. Some would even want to compare it to the way Glasnow developed. But it's not really the same because Glasnow was just wild. It was a mechanical adjustment with Glasnow. But with Keller, the next time he makes a start in the big leagues could be his first MLB quality start. And I don't think this guy's going to be the next Brad Lincoln, like eventually shift to the bullpen and out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah. he's an interesting topic for sure. Tyler Glasnow, I mean.
Yeah.
Because everybody's saying that we lost the Archer trade. Now, that may be true, but Glasnow is not panning out for us, for our organization, for the Pirates.
But his comments suggest that he was on the verge of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That
he
really
might have been on that turning point.
Mm-hmm. So
we all know how Archer's turned out so far.
Archer to this point, the trade has been lost based on Archer's performance.
Yeah,
he's going to have to pitch long stretches of good baseball for the Pirates in order for this trade to even look serviceable based on what those three players are giving the Tampa Bay Rays right now.
Yeah.
But with that said, let's move on from that because
hold on 1 second though. I want to give a shout out to Austin Meadows, making the All-Star team. Good for him. Long time Pirate, but you know. We lost him, I guess.
Yeah, you're allowing some fans to dwell on that trade and how it's a big L for the team and the organization.
He's done good this year, but
let's talk about Dario.
Dario, look, I did not think that Dario would pan out this way. We thought that he was going to move to the bullpen. Then he went back to Altoona this year, figured it out, came to AAA, did very well, and then earned, what was it, 3 starts in the big leagues?
So far?
I think so.
3 starts.
And they've been solid.
Yeah. So the reason why I like Dario is because out of the pen, he's throwing some serious heat. He's sitting mid-90s. And I really liked the potential for him to kind of be Edgar Santana. He doesn't have as good a changeup as Santana, but if he was a big-time fastball and then a slider combo guy out of the pen, I loved that. I wanted him to win a bullpen job out of spring training, and that's what it looked like he was headed towards. And then all of a sudden, the Pirates decide, okay, we're going to make this guy a starter back at Double-A. He comes out of Double-A, and I think I sent a text to you the night after his season debut at Double-A. I said, Dario is not working out as a starter. Well, I was wrong. Dario
he
is
proved a lot
of
people wrong. I think that he proved the Pirate management wrong.
And the thing is, he hits spots with a good sinker. He lives above the zone with a 4-seam fastball that packs enough of a punch. Like, it's almost Trevor Williams-like, okay? But he doesn't have the depth in his off-speed repertoire to, take it to that level. Because when Trevor is healthy and going well, we've seen how good that guy can be.
Yeah.
We haven't seen enough of it, unfortunately, so far this year because of the injury and everything like that. But maybe Dario is able to carve out a career kind of along that path and kind of soften the blow of Nick Kingham not working out. So
yeah, that would be very nice. Anything else on Dario?
That's pretty much it.
All right.
Fastball slider.
So let's move on from pitching and go to the NL Central. So, as always, a very competitive division, for sure. And the Pirates are hanging right in there. I believe that we are 2.5 out. Is that correct?
Yes, 2.5 out as of today. 4th place, though. So,
yeah.
It's
a slaughterhouse. I mean, every team is good except for the Reds.
Well, that's not necessarily true. The Reds are beating everybody.
Yeah, they have held their ground, but
they're 4.5 out in their last place.
It's. I mean, I guess I'm going to retract on that comment. Everybody in this division's decent.
Basically, yeah. I mess with Phillies fans from time to time, and I say the Reds will be first place in the NL East right now if they played in that division. The Braves are better than the Reds. The Reds are somewhere on pace with what the Phillies are producing. They have a couple dynamite starters at the top of their rotation. But beyond that, their offense has been a little hit or miss. I like bits and pieces of their bullpen. They're a team that competes, especially at home. But then you have a variety of other clubs in that division in the NL Central that all look like they could be. They have the talent to be first place clubs. They all look like they have the look of contenders.
Yeah.
And where the Pirates stack up in that is they've had their pitching beat up most of this season.
Everything's been beat up so far.
Yeah. Well, some of the rookies have really come through for this club.
They've stepped up. We wouldn't even have known who Brian Reynolds was or could do at the big league level unless, Dickerson was hurt.
And
Polanco was hurt and not turning out great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what you have with that and Melky stepping up.
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't been noteworthy defensively.
I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna staple down a starting spot.
But
definitely a reliable bat off the bench. Yeah, for sure.
And he if you go into a certain ballpark and you're able to play the matchups, hey, we can stick Melky here. This pitcher our pitcher on the mound likes to throw here, and this field isn't as big. We can stick him out there and play the matchups. That's ideal to get him a start, get his bat in the lineup because he's dropping the bat head on the ball regularly, and even though he's only got 6 home runs, guy that's hitting 315 right around there, that's a valuable bat in the lineup. So as far as everybody goes in the NL Central, the only team that's disappointed so far is the Cardinals, and they've still found a way.
They're still competing
to compete. They're ahead of the Pirates right now, but not by a significant margin, but they are ahead of the Pirates.
Yeah. Going back to Melky for 1 second, I know that you don't use Instagram, but what I see on there from Michael Feliz, from Edgar Santana when he's in Pittsburgh, all the Hispanic guys, this guy's almost like. I don't want to say father figure because all these guys have fathers, but he's been the veteran that stepped up and is helping all these guys out. They're all having fun with him. Eric Gonzalez too. All the Hispanic players are all having fun with him, and he's a good guy to have in the clubhouse for sure.
Did you see the Cardinals are a half a game ahead of the Pirates right now.
Yeah.
They're at exactly 500. But did you see in this last series leading up to the All-Star break? Melky sitting in the dugout with Osuna and a couple other, I think Diaz, a couple other of the Hispanic players on the team. And they were going back and forth with Jesus Aguilar and...
were they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, back and forth at their dugout. It was all in fun. It was just funny to watch.
Yeah,
because,
Melky is a funny guy.
They were going at each other, and it was like trash talk.
Yeah.
But it was all in fun and
So
respectful.
What happened? Melky, he laced a single, and then he got around the bases in a fast manner because guys were just in early at bats, just hitting the ball, and he got around the bases. And then he just went to the dugout and just fell on the floor, just completely laid out. And I mean, he knows that he's a bigger guy and he can't get around as well. But yeah, he's a pretty good guy to have in the clubhouse for sure.
He keeps the locker room light. He keeps everybody kind of heading in the right direction collectively, and having fun playing the game of baseball is what results in wins. You win games. You know you're good when you can have fun.
When you have fun, you play as a team. When you play as a team, you win games.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right, so our next topic is the hot streak of the team. We've kind of talked about this a little bit, but ever since that Braves series and the 7-game losing streak, we have been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been
winning big series.
Yeah, so this final week going into the All-Star break, the way they won last Monday, 18-5 over the Cubs, it looked like they might come out and just sweep the week. Now,
yeah, we didn't have a great final game, but still.
They came out and lost the final game in the 4-game series against the Cubs, and then they lost Game 1 in the 3-game series against the Brewers. But then they ripped off two straight wins with a blowout win on Saturday and a 1-run win where Felipe locked it down right before the break.
And Friday,
yeah,
we could have won that game.
The Pirates definitely could have won that game, but they kind of lost the game in the early going.
Yeah.
And that huge rally to come back from down 5 in the 9th inning, it just shows where this team's at. And that's kind of what allowed for them to come out and finally win a series against the Brewers this year. 4th series of the year, first series win against Milwaukee, a club they dominated last year.
And I want to say something about this Padres series. I went to every game that series.
Yeah.
And we were kind of pressed for time on Sunday because we had to get out to Altoona.
Yeah.
And so we left when it looked like, Kirby Yates was coming in.
Yeah.
And it didn't look good. And then we turned on the radio, and then I looked at my phone and saw game day, and I was like, wait, we have runners on the corners with no outs, and we just scored a run?
Mm-hmm.
So, these guys battled back one time, fell behind again, and then came back another time.
And they won it the second time. They didn't mess around. Kevin Newman was at the plate ready to take a great at bat.
Yeah.
And he comes through with a walk-off walk. And so they come out and they lose the game to Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
But then they absolutely mop the floor.
24-2 in 2 games.
Mop the floor with the Astros in the next 2 games. The Houston Astros, who had not lost a home series all year, just got wiped up.
Yeah.
In the next 2 games.
For sure.
So then they go to Milwaukee and
they lose 2 out of 3 there, but
they win the Friday night game.
Yeah.
It looks like they're on their way to something good. But then they lose 2 close heartbreakers.
Yeah.
But then they got the Brewers back the very next weekend. So we're at the All-Star break.
Yeah. After the All-Star break, Cubs, Cardinals, Phillies, Cardinals. So, okay. Divisional games is the big thing.
Yeah.
And if we can do good versus the Cubs, the Cardinals, we can... I wouldn't say let off the gas a little bit, but the Cubs are definitely a better team than the Cardinals, and we go out to St. Louis for the first time, I believe, this year. And
they went into St. Louis, got blown out in Game 1, and then won the next 3.
I remember that.
And that was where Josh Bell hit the game-tying home run.
Yeah.
They ripped
Mother's
off
Day.
7 unanswered
Mother's
on Mother's
Day.
Day.
It was Mother's Day. So, yeah, if we go back to St. Louis and show them what we got again, then this will be a good stretch. After that, we play the struggling Mets, the Reds, then Mets again. So we see the Mets a lot. The Brewers at home, Cardinals. So we start to see the Cardinals and the Cubs, the Brewers, and the Mets a lot more. Another thing, too, I'm sorry about your World Series pick for this year, because they are definitely not doing good anymore.
The Cleveland Indians.
Well, didn't you say the Nationals? Oh, you said the Nationals as your NL representative. Yeah, so... Oh, and the Indians, so,
Yeah.
I guess those picks weren't great, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Took a shot in the dark and missed.
Yeah. So, our next...
let's just compare...
we got to compare it to how they did last year.
So, they won 11 games in a row last year to get to pretty much where they are this year.
Yeah.
Well, they've had some losses in there to stay hungry.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, they had a 2-game losing streak on a 5-2 week last week. Okay?
Yeah.
So, that's the key difference, because at some point, if they come together, the 11-game win streak, whether it's an 8-game win streak, a 7-game win streak, something like that, if they're hanging at around 500 and they rip something off like that, that may be just what they need to get to September in striking distance of the division.
We just got to stay hot. We can't let the All-Star break cool us off at all.
So that's how it compares to last season. The Archer trade actually marked the downfall of last year's Pirates.
Yes.
Going into August, they came out and had it was the offense in August and Archer pitching like crap every start he made in August last year. But I think they went 8-15 in August and then 15-8 in September and ended up above 500. So
what did Neil Huntington say after the 5-game win streak versus the Brewers last year? He's buying into this team.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what he just said? He's buying into this team again. So let's see what we do at the deadline. That'll be, I guess, not next week, but the following week we're going to talk about the deadline a lot and who we like, who we might pick up, if any trades have been made prior to then. So comparing to last year, I think that we have the potential to do better than last year. For sure, we said it coming into spring training and the winter meetings. We didn't think that they made any significant deals. I mean, Lonnie Chisenhall has not worked out at all.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's here. I think he's at home, but, battling injuries, we saw it coming. So not a lot of huge moves. So, comparing to last year, better. Are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, Francisco Cervelli announced that he will not catch another Major League game. He's done catching. He said he cannot live like this anymore. He has a chronic concussion issue. I can't say that I haven't thought about it, but Cervelli, it definitely looked like the end last time. And you always said he's one concussion away from ending it.
Yeah, and he took another foul ball off the mask. It's unfortunate, and this kind of makes him all that much less of a fit on this team.
And trade value
plummets.
Plummets.
Yeah,
absolutely plummets.
He doesn't. He now basically becomes a bench bat where you're going to try and get him some looks at third, some looks at first.
Yep.
Those are the only two positions you can really play him at. I wouldn't want to attempt to play him in the outfield or at second base.
I mean, a $10 million bench bat.
So, well, you got some value out of him. Just like a week ago or so before this announcement came out, I was thinking, with Diaz having the framing issues.
Yeah.
And the Pirates having the fewest called strikes outside of the strike zone in the National League so far this year. I was just thinking it might be nice to get Cervelli back, even though he was hot right before this last concussion. He was on a hot streak.
Yeah.
But he hadn't hit much this year. So that's kind of where we're at.
Who the solution could be?
Jacob Stallings.
Jacob Stallings. He has made himself a roster spot now. I don't think that we'll send him back down for the rest of the year.
And Francisco Cervelli has opened the door for Jacob Stallings.
And has also opened the door for Elias Diaz because he was kind of getting blocked by Cervelli to get at-bats.
Yeah.
Now it's his job right now.
It's Diaz. Diaz is the starter because of his back.
Yeah.
Diaz has always been known as a good throwing catcher, but he needs to refine his game calling and pitch framing in order to be a real asset to this team. Because right now, those two areas haven't always been weaknesses, but right now, that part of his game is not playing very well. So that's also opened the door for Jacob Stallings. And Jacob Stallings kind of taking his bat to the next level, like very much like Eric Kratz.
Yep. I understand what you mean by that.
A guy who kind of got stuck in the minors until he was kind of older than most prospects are when they debut. And he's carving out a career for himself in the big leagues.
Well, think of it like this.
As a catcher.
If he does turn into the next Eric Kratz, he still has a 10-year career ahead of him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
there might be a lot more of Jacob Stallings in the future. And on a side note, very nice guy. I met him. He's a really good guy.
And we've been all over Jacob Stallings being kind of the man.
The cookie cutter backup catcher.
Yes. Just the ultimate player that fills out a playoff 20-man roster, a 25-man roster. He's the ultimate backup catcher, and that's exactly what he's playing like right now.
And I can't believe no other team saw that in him when we DFA'd him. It just blows my mind how he's not on another team right now. But
the Pirates employed my strategy. Try and find the ideal time to designate him for assignment.
When nobody needs a catcher.
Yeah, because it was so dangerous that he might get claimed.
Yep. All right, next topic. Kevin Newman and Brian Reynolds. Two rookies who have
got it done.
These guys are great right now. I remember I went to a sport journalism camp, and one of the advisors was like, "Oh, well, Kevin Newman's his average is slowly going down." And then after that, he just set the world on fire. He was going on as many hot streaks as he can. And same with Brian Reynolds.
Power.
Hitting for power. Kevin Newman, Brian Reynolds. This guy just gets on base. He's great to watch right now.
Kevin Newman, what I said about him last year was he's basically, when he debuted, there were some people on Twitter that wanted to say bad things about him. And I said, basically, Kevin Newman is right-handed Adam Frazier. And that's basically what he's playing to.
Yeah.
Adam Frazier went on to have a power surge last year after that point, but Kevin Newman and Adam Frazier look like similar types of players. They're both going to slap the ball to hard to convert spots on the infield and get a decent amount of infield hits. Solid glove. Yeah. Oh, I can't say enough about the strides that Kevin Newman, I don't know what it says in the advanced statistics. Let's take a look at that.
Kevin Newman for Fangraphs.
Yeah, but he has shown all kinds of confidence at the shortstop position. So, granted, there's going to be the statistical anomaly of him with a 3-error inning at Wrigley Field. That's going to affect the overall numbers.
Let's see.
But
got batted ball. I think that you got to go down a little bit more. Fielding. Here we go.
So we're looking at the advanced fielding so far. So even after that, his UZR isn't great. His range rating isn't great, but he's had a 0 defensive runs saved. So he's basically elevated from a guy that looked like he may have to move over to second base to a guy that's playing average defensive baseball at the shortstop position. And after what happened at Wrigley Field that day, where he made 3 errors in 1 inning, for him to achieve that level.
And everybody has an off day.
Yeah. At this point, put that behind him. That could have been career-ending if he was mentally weak. He could have just been toast, done after that.
Yeah.
So, credit to Kevin Newman for keeping it together. And I wouldn't mind seeing his buddy Kevin Kramer in the big leagues.
Get some more at-bats.
Yeah.
What was the point of bringing up Montana and optioning him back? It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Just to have a bullpen option. But just to talk about Brian Reynolds, he hit his 7th home run, was it? For the game winner.
Right now.
Right before the All-Star break.
Yep, his 7th home run.
Yeah,
33 RBIs.
Newman has 6 home runs. So both of these rookies are producing some home run power.
Yeah. Same amount of RBIs.
Yeah. For Reynolds, he's just been phenomenal because he's knocking the ball all over the yard. What's his doubles total for right now?
Who, Reynolds?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see. Doubles, he has 18 of them.
Yeah, and
2 triples, 17 or 7 home runs, not 17.
He's slugging .536, which is the key number. a lot of that's in the 342 batting average, but a nice extra base hit total to compile that 536 slugging percentage. Like he bats second, and he's hitting. That's like the new spot for like the best hitter in the lineup to hit in the new age lineup. So he's accidentally there in the correct position for one of Clint Hurdle's lineups. But I would be okay with him batting third if you felt like you could move Starling Marte to a different spot in the lineup.
Well, we'll be making our lineups in a couple topics.
But I think that's enough on Kevin Newman and Brian Reynolds. They're both doing a really nice job.
So let's tie Adam Frazier into all this. Player of the week.
Yep.
He's been pretty hot as of late. He had a 5-for-5 game, then a 4-for-4 game.
Yes.
I believe. So this guy's holding down second base, and I feel like his little slip in Cincinnati on opening day put a bad taste in everybody's mouth for some reason, but he's definitely been better.
Yeah, so what we have from Adam Frazier right now is a 287 batting average, a 341 slugging, and 341 on base and 416 slugging. All solid numbers that put him in the above average category for second baseman. His extra base hit totals are not great. His walk percentage is not great, but the guy is not striking out. He's putting the ball in play. And right now, his Fangraphs WAR total is at 1.5 through 89 games. This is a guy, we had him pegged for a 3+ WAR player. While he's not quite on that pace, but if he continues this hot streak after the All-Star break, hey, he could be a 3+ Fangraphs WAR player.
Yeah.
And that's after being a disappointing player for most of the first half.
Yeah.
Right now he has a positive range rating. He has a positive UZR defensively, and he has 4 defensive runs saved. So this guy has really focused on defense at the second base position. That's been his primary focus. And recently, because he's so comfortable at the second base position, he's been able to take his focus back to producing at the plate, because producing at the plate was kind of his calling card, what got him to the big leagues. And he was almost like a player, just a utility player who was decent defensively in some positions. He was regarded as a poor defender at second base, so he kind of locked that down, made it his position, because they didn't really have room for him corner outfield. Some people still criticize saying that he's slow turning the double play in the middle. That isn't really a huge concern. The Pirates still turn double plays at a high rate.
Yeah.
His arm is more than sufficient at the second base position, even on the turn. It may not be as smooth as some of the. He's not Omar Vizquel, but
yeah. Oh, by the way, there was a video of Omar just
with the quick
hands.
hands.
Oh my gosh.
That was just a spectacular show of glove work and hand work there.
For sure.
So Adam Frazier, he's back. I think he's going to continue this hot streak into the second half, and that's going to be key as the Pirates kind of look to continue this streak of where they're averaging 5+ runs per game, and they've got the bats to do it. Yeah. Right now on the season, I think they're at like 4.7 or 4.8 runs per game total. So there was always a possibility that this could happen, and when the pitching staff got so decimated by injury, all of a sudden this became a necessity, and these guys came through. So there was always a possibility that a team that looked like it was so built foundationally on the pitching staff became a team that is led by offense. Yeah. It's so weird how that happens. Because going into last year, we felt so good about the offense. Josh Bell comes out and had a rough year last year, and the offense ended up being the weakness of the team. Everybody goes into this year, the pitching was great last year. We expect it to be great again this year, but the offense stinks. Well, not only is the shortstop position producing, but the offense as a whole is producing at a phenomenal clip. And it's helping overcome the shortcomings of what's been a up and down effort from a pitching staff that's seen a lot of injuries. So
Yeah.
that's
All right.
all we got on Adam Frazier's hot streak.
Let's make our lineups. I will let you go first.
Okay. So I really appreciate what Kevin Newman's done. And because Adam Frazier's on a hot streak, I'm going to go Newman, Frazier. Middle
Okay.
infielders at the top.
All right.
So now I'm going to go with a switch hitter batting third. His name's Brian Reynolds, and I'm going
Okay.
to have him in left field.
Okay.
So I got my man Josh Bell in the cleanup spot at first base,
Of course.
and Starling Marte batting fifth, playing center field. Just to mix it up, I got a lefty now. I got Colin Moran batting sixth and playing third base. I like Greg Polanco, so I have him seventh, playing right field. And my number 8 hitter, just cleaning up everything as it goes, is the hitter, but could work on his catching, Elias Diaz.
Yeah. And then ninth, let's have Joe Musgrove hit a bomb.
Yes, I love Joe Musgrove.
Okay. All right, so for me, leading off Adam Frazier, batting second is going to be Brian Reynolds. Batting third is going to be Starling Marte.
Mm-hmm.
Batting fourth, Bell. Batting fifth, Moran. Batting sixth, Newman. Batting seventh is going to be Corey Dickerson. Batting eighth is Elias Diaz, cleaning it up again. And batting ninth, let's just go with Joe Musgrove again.
Yeah.
So that's mine. Mine's a little bit different than yours, but I mean, there have been some hitters in this lineup
Yeah.
for sure.
Either lineup works great.
Yeah.
My lineup was a little bit unconventional, but I had the two slap hitters at the top.
Yeah.
The two slap hitters that occasionally hit for power.
Yeah. Once in a while, they'll
Yeah.
hit a bomb.
Yeah. So I didn't have Corey Dickerson in that lineup, but
Do you think he'll get traded?
I don't think he'll get traded
Okay.
because, and I would almost try to extend him right now.
This second. Yeah, I don't know about Polanco. I'm just not 100% set on him.
Well, I think that Corey Dickerson doesn't he has a dual role. He's almost acted as a third hitting coach for this team this year.
Yeah.
Because you've got a lot of guys coming back to the dugout and just like thanking him. Remember that early in the season?
Yep.
Like Cole
Yeah, I
Tucker, even Josh Bell, thanking him for tips that led to success at the plate, and Eckstein and Cruz were not intimidated or feeling like they were losing credit for.
How about the job that Rick Eckstein has done?
Yeah,
This guy's turning a lot
Collectively.
of hitters. Yeah, probably Cruz as well. Everybody in the Pirates hitting coordinators, whatever. These guys have turned Bell into a better hitter. Newman's coming out. Brian Reynolds has a great swing right now. Everybody's hitting.
Corey
pretty well.
Dickerson has a great swing.
Ever since he came off of the DL, he's been good.
Polanco may come back from the disabled list and get something going. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens with that. So, yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to episode 13. In 2 weeks, we will be talking trades. So, in the next couple weeks, we will both do some research on who we may like to pick up, look at the trade block, see who's up for all the teams, and maybe some players that the Pirates will trade for minor leaguers and kind of sell off. So, thank you all for listening, and we will see you in a couple weeks.